Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, not too much, man. How you doing?
Welcome. I'm doing good, man. Well, welcome everybody to this week's Two Dudes One Up Gaming podcast. My name is Ian,
And I'm Chris.
and we're here to talk about everything in news and gaming related type stuff. So,
Yeah, pretty much.
uh, yeah. So, how are you doing today? How was your week?
I'm doing okay. Doing all right.
Yeah.
Had actually a pretty productive week last week, so that was really nice. Finished up two major deployments and working on a third one now. So it's been
Very
good.
cool.
How about yourself?
Very cool. Can't complain. Was busy with work last week. Obviously, I was in the hotel room.
Yeah,
Got home, burned my face with some cooking oil. You can see that on my nose right there. But I'm getting along, and just had the opportunity to actually sit down and play some games this week.
all
So I'm
right.
pretty stoked about that.
Nice.
Uh, yeah.
Long games. We got a few of them. A few of them coming out here pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Seems like tomorrow is a pretty big game day.
Yeah, a lot of stuff's coming out tomorrow. Darkest Dungeon Ancestral Edition's coming out for the Switch, which is basically Darkest Dungeon and all of its content.
All of it, all the content.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just the deluxe, the whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And then there's
The
another one.
Adventure Time game is coming out finally. Pirates of the Iridan or whatever they had
Aaron
said this thing
Chiridon,
was. Yeah.
Enchiridion.
And Chiridian. That's coming out for all the major gaming platforms. That's coming out for PlayStation 4, Xbox, PC, and Switch tomorrow.
Sweet.
The South Park Fractured But Whole port is coming to the Switch
Yep.
finally. Um,
Yep.
I know the sequel to Japan's greatest vacuum little schoolgirl clothing, whatever that game was, where you shoot the clothing off the girls. The sequel's coming out for tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I'm
That's
somehow
Gal
not
Gadot.
surprised at this coming from Japan. All right.
Yeah. But it's coming out for the PlayStation 4 and the Switch.
Okay.
So it's interesting to see
And
the Switch pick this
so
one up.
we're gonna shoot clothes off of women on the Switch.
Yeah,
Nintendo is
you can do
all
that.
right. They get the green lighted. All right. I was kind of
They
surprised they
green-
gave the green light to Darkest Dungeon, but and
Uh,
South Park.
And yeah,
Like-
it's
I guess they're opening it back up. I mean, GameCube was like it was like a competitive console like that. Like they actually sold games on there that were actually like scary and like rated M games, like Resident Evil 4 and stuff. You know.
right. Yeah, and then when then they kind of went to that kids route, and now it looks like they're headed back to that adult gamer, competition console world.
I mean, it's a big market. You know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money to be made there.
for
Don't
sure.
blame them.
Yeah. Also tomorrow, which was a game that I know you just found out about today.
I did.
Um,
I was excited.
it's a game called Frostpunk. I know this is kind of right in your wheelhouse, but it's like a futuristic post new Ice Age UK city builder slash
But with stakes.
yeah.
Love that stuff. Yeah, we have a trailer for it, in fact, which
Nice.
I guess we're gonna go ahead and roll that.
Oh my goodness gracious, let me tell you the news. My head's been wet with the midnight dew. I've been down on my bended knees, talking to the man from Galilee. He spoke to me in a voice so sweet, I thought I heard a shuffle of angels' feet. He called my name and my heart stood still, when he said, man, go do my will. Oh, tell that long-tongued liar, go and tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him the God's gonna cut him down. Tell him the God's gonna cut him down. You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Later gotta cut you down. You can throw your rock and hide your hand, working in the dark against your fellow man. But sure as God made black and white, to the light. You can run on for a long time, run on
And there it is.
Nice. Yeah, so I'm pretty stoked. It's like a city builder / survival game where heat is like the real key to, kind of maintain your city, and everything that you do kind of has to revolve around that.
It reminds me a little bit of because I watched this trailer I had on Steam for it. It was like 11 facts about the game or whatever, and they did a pretty good job of like telling me what the game was. Which I know we touched on this in a previous episode, but I really appreciate it when a trailer tells me what the game is, so that I can actually make a decision if I like it or not. They were talking about how like so your central facility is like a big steam engine, right? And you're using this to generate heat for your city, but you also need to like grow your city because it's the last one on Earth. And so you use that to like, you need to keep a certain temperature. It's not just providing heat, it's making sure it doesn't get too hot anywhere. So you have to worry about like maintenance and keeping that kind of in order. And then you have to deal with like, how do you do like society management? So like, how do you deal with law and order? What kind of cities are going to be? Is it going to be more like what type of policy do you implement? Like it allows you to deal with individual problems, like with an individual citizen, that kind of thing, which is really interesting. I thought it was really cool looking. And it has stakes too, because I mean, if you could just lose, you could just die. Everybody could die,
Yeah.
And I always like a game that actually has some stakes, like a thoughtful, methodical. I get to sit down and manage and kind of like solve this problem, but there are consequences to my actions. It's not like SimCity, where like the city's gonna be okay. Like you could be a terrible mayor, but nobody's dying, right? As opposed to like surviving Mars or something like this, where like everyone dies if you fail.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm interested in it. I'm probably gonna pick it up this week. I think you pre-ordered it. So.
I did. I found out about it an hour ago, and I pre-ordered it 40 minutes ago.
Nice.
And I'm streaming it tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to it.
That'll be awesome. I'll have to check. I'll watch you for that for a little bit while I can. Yeah. But there's more games coming out this week. We just literally hit everything that's coming out tomorrow. It's like there's some more stuff. But I mean, I think the more important stuff. I think we're gonna skip a lot of the other releases and stuff. There's 1.5 million games that come out on Steam. Every other day. So
we try to just pick things of some interest. So Death Road to Canada is coming out tomorrow on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. That one's been out on PC for a while. You can go check it out on Steam. It's I don't know how to properly describe Death Road to Canada aside just from saying that it's it's action packed and there are zombies. I don't really.
But it's got great reviews. Metacritic, I think, it's over 90. It's over 90 on Metacritic. I think it's like 9 out of 10 on Steam.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a lot of fun. So
yeah,
kind of one of those kind of flat 8-bit, not 8-bit, but sort of.
Well, I think it was a phone game. I think it was a mobile game originally, and then got ported out to PC.
Could be.
Yeah. So it's obviously been very successful. So the other main consoles are going to get it, and that's going to be pretty sweet.
For sure.
The other one that's worth noting tomorrow is Earth Defense Force 4.1 Wing Diver, the shooter DLC. Earth Defense Force. I know I've played that before.
It's your quintessential an army of bugs is invading the planet, and we the Earth Defense Force have to protect the planet. Like it's good stuff. So
I definitely remember playing this. I mean, this game's been out for a while. I think I remember playing it on PlayStation 2, the original one.
Yeah.
I don't think I played any of the sequels, but
they just progressively get better.
Okay, all right.
And they're all just exactly as campy and as goofy as the first one. Like there's this super loose plot with terrible voice acting, and the gunplay is pretty good. Like you're just killing bugs. It's great.
Yeah.
If you're looking for that like completely mindless, and you're in no danger, but I want to kill a lot of stuff, it's that kind of game. So.
Okay.
And then I guess tomorrow is Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Trilogy for the Switch. Or not tomorrow, the 26th.
The 26th. Yeah, again, that's just the ultimate compilation of the Naruto Shippuden Ninja Storm games. Yeah. Which some of them they were pretty fun. I think I played 4 for a little bit, and I enjoyed it for what it is. I'm not super into Naruto or anything, but People, I had a lot of friends that are, and they highly recommended it, so I gave it a go. It was fun. Fighting games are always enjoyable. As long as they're done pretty well.
Yeah.
But along those notes, what have you been playing this week?
Before we go into what I've been playing, I know that you finally had a chance to finish up all that work, and you've been finally playing games. I have to ask.
Yes.
Did you finish Ni no Kuni?
I am done with Ni no Kuni. It is done.
How does it
140 hours later. It feels good.
140 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
I opted to not platinum and save a couple of achievements that I may go back to later.
Okay.
But I just didn't. I'm done with it for now. I'm ready for the break.
All right.
Playing some more stuff. Over the
branching out some more, feeling.
Yeah, but you've been streaming the Hunter, right? Like pretty frequently.
I streamed a little bit of the Hunter. I honestly don't remember what I was streaming this week, but in my off time, I've been playing the Hunter with a friend of mine. And then I was also playing some Subnautica hardcore runs, and I was modding that game a little bit. So that was pretty fun. Got some just like quality of life stuff. Did you play Subnautica at all?
I did not. I know you tried to get me to play it a couple of times. I just never got around to it.
Gotcha.
Not that I'm against it or anything.
At some point you should. It's an absolutely beautiful game. It's a masterpiece. You'd love it. But just some quality of life stuff like automatic sorting for inventory, like easy crafting, so you don't have to craft the individual components first. You can just craft the final thing and not have to
final
do
thing.
It'll
do all the steps for it.
Yeah. I increased the size of several different inventories just to make life easier. So you're not just like always going back and forth to a locker, so you don't have to like cut a trip short. Despite the fact that you've got plenty of resources left to continue it, that kind of thing. So just kind of quality of life stuff.
Okay,
it's been a lot of fun. I like Subnautica a lot, doing some hardcore runs. So if you die, it's game over. You got to start again.
That's cool. It's cool that you have a modding community for that game. Does it seem like the developers are all just kind of like all for it, or has there been any lashback because of the modding community? Or has it been ripped on like Skyrim, like the modding community for that?
Right. Yeah, I understand the question. It's they've been remarkably quiet about it. Nothing here or there. I do know that the subreddit for Subnautica has a couple of rules about posting mods there. I know that if you have a modded game, you are forbidden from asking questions about it, like for technical support. Because I guess like the devs for that game like hang out on that forum a lot, and rather than getting to try to have them answer questions about a game that was modded, because like obviously that's going to change some of the internals and balancing and stuff, so like with that that kind of thing. But I mean, I haven't heard anything negative about it. That said, I am still looking forward to whenever Nitrox gets finished. That'll be great. That's the co-op modification for Subnautica. That will be really
that
cool.
That might be what gets me to get into it a little bit, just
okay.
to play with some friends and stuff. I've been playing Nier Automata. I always want to call it Nier Automatica. Yeah, but I've been playing Nier. It's on sale currently on Steam for 50% off.
Yeah.
So I picked it up and all that stuff. So I gave that a couple of runs. Got into it. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. But then I fell in love with The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past randomizer. This is gonna be the game that overtakes my life for the next 2 to 3 months, probably.
Dude, understandable. Link to the Past is such a good game, and like being able to just play more of it in a way you haven't seen it before is great.
Yeah, and it's been absolutely incredible. Like the community out there for it has been extremely helpful in like sharing glitches to make your runs faster. It's definitely a speedrunning community type game.
Oh yeah.
There's some great trackers out there to keep tabs of what items you picked up and which items you haven't, where you need to go, where you haven't gone yet. Because the concept of if people don't know what a randomizer does is it changes the location of all of the items in the game. Mm-hmm. So what normally would be in a chest over at like Death Mountain might not be in that chest anymore. It might be somewhere completely.
Could be in Lost Woods.
Could be in the Lost Woods. It could be in the dark side of the map. So it's you have to go. You pretty much have to go everywhere and try to find it. And every game is different. So every time you play, you generate a new ROM, and then that ROM changes everything for you. You can actually, and they do races and stuff now too, where they'll generate a ROM and then share that ROM with everybody, so everyone has the same one. There's actually been some really cool. They're doing a tournament right now where there's Twitch chat integration where you can take bombs, you can add bombs to people's inventory, you can take bombs away, you can add arrows, you can take arrows, you can remove people's magic, you can add magic, you can instant kill somebody, or not necessarily instant kill, but you make it so one hit will kill you. You make it one hit kill. You can introduce ice physics into movement, and you can invert the player's controllers. So up becomes down, down
Giving
becomes
that kind
up,
of power to Twitch chat is just a recipe for disaster.
It's a beautiful, it's absolutely beautiful.
Oh, I bet.
I watched Grand Pooh Bear and the Dragon Feeney race last night. It was about a 2.5 hour race, and Feeney got stuck for like 30 minutes in a room because anytime there's certain creatures you have to kill with an arrow, and every time somebody would donate 2 arrows, somebody would take away 5. So she was just kind of stuck, literally spamming the arrow button until like one just happened to hit her inventory. So that was it was interesting to watch. I felt bad for her, but you know she's got a great community too, so she can let them know. Okay. She can let them know what's up when it comes to that stuff. But I'm excited.
Was it one of the statue enemies that walk about, or was it like one of the boss enemies? It was a statue enemy. Okay.
Yeah, they made some minor changes. Like they've changed some skins and stuff to some of them. So like if it's a green skin, you can kind of kill it with whatever. If it's a red skin, I think it requires an arrow. So
yeah, I mean it is a randomizer, so like you have to do some stuff to it to make sure that you can't just have an unwinnable ROM.
Right. Yeah. And they've done that, and there's multiple different versions. You can do a sword. They do a swordless category now. There's a category where the sword is no longer on your uncle when you go through the cave. It's somewhere else in the chest, so you might not have a sword for a while. You know, they've got all sorts of stuff that you can do now with that. So, I mean, I've been watching the speed runs. They're in the middle of the race season now. I think like pretty much every Sunday? It's like every Saturday night and every Thursday or Friday night.
Nice.
They do them. So, other
Sounds
than
like
that,
good fun.
I mean, I'm probably going to be streaming it tomorrow if I can get some time, some time after work. If not, I'll find some time later on.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, other than that, like, I haven't really been playing much. I've gotten a couple of Fortnite runs in.
Yeah.
Which I guess the update 3.6 hits tonight at like 4 a.m. Everyone thinks that this is going to be the one where the meteor hits Tilted Towers and blows it off the map. I don't think we're there yet. I think they're just kind of doing some quality of life updates, but we'll find out. They tweeted out earlier today that like you need to stick the landing. So I don't know what, who knows what that is. I've also heard rumor that one of the challenges for week 10 in this season, you have to, when you drop out of the battle bus, there are rings in the air that you have to go through a la Pilot Wings. So
nice.
I'm excited to see if that's a thing. Who knows? But that's Fortnite news, and also along those lines with the battle royale games, PUBG. One of the new map has hit the PTR. I think only for a brief amount of time. It's going to be like only up for a couple of days. So if you want to play the new 4x4 map, that'll be cool. They've already said they're going to make some big changes to it. I think they're going to add some underground caves. So that'll be a real cool thing going on there too. And I think that's really about it when it comes to all the battle royale news. I haven't heard much along the Radical Heights front, so I haven't really heard any. I've heard mixed reviews, so
yeah,
I'll have to do a little bit more research into that.
Fair enough. Well, sort of adjacent to battle royale games. I know. I think. Do you? I don't know if you own it or not. Escape from Tarkov. I think that you do.
Yeah, I played. I used to play it.
We played like a couple rounds.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I got into it really hardcore for a little while, and then I stopped because like I'm just not good at it, and I just get frustrated. But they just released update 0.8 like a couple days ago, and this added a whole bunch of stuff that the community was clamoring for. They added new mods, new guns. They added 2 new traders. They added a new map.
Oh, nice.
They added a bunch of missions, a bunch of new missions that you can like go on while you're playing that game. So they added a whole bunch of stuff. They did a lot of bug fixes and introduced some new bugs and that kind of thing. So that's out in the wild now. You can check that out. Beyond that, so you know how the joke is that Valve, they don't really make games, they make money?
Yeah.
So recently, the Hearthstone game director, Ben Brode, he announced that he's leaving Blizzard. He's going to start a new company where they're going to, and I quote, probably make games.
I would hope so.
Yeah, all the experience. So that should be interesting to see what goes on there. But it looks like Valve may be trying to get back into the actual game development market because they recently acquired Camposanto, which is the company that made Firewatch. And I know you really liked that game, so it should be interesting.
I thoroughly enjoyed Firewatch.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what happens here with the Valve purchase.
Yeah. Hopefully they come out with some type of new situation. And it's interesting too that Valve has actually purchased this company because this company it's a game making company, right? Like depending on what Valve does with them, like this company makes things. They have deadlines. They produce product, right? Like it's not like Valve's flat command structure where everybody works on whatever the heck they want to anytime they want, right? Like this company is actually like most companies that actually make something, you know. So it should be really interesting to see what goes on there. I hope to see new Valve games soon.
Well, I do know that Camposanto's next game is called In the Valley of the Gods, and it's set for release next year, but it will be published as a Valve game. I don't know. From what I understand about In the Valley of the Gods, it's along the lines of Firewatch, but it's based in 1920s Egypt. So it's just gonna be another, like the stylish narrative type of game, like the adventure game. Like I think it's gonna be pretty similar to Firewatch, except maybe because the technology, you're not gonna be on the comm system, you'll be face to face with whoever you're
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting.
Yeah. So I'm pretty stoked about that. I'll probably play that right out of the gate too. Okay. I do know that the Dark Souls Remastered has been delayed until about the summer of 2018.
Only for the Switch.
So only for the Switch.
Other platforms are fine.
Which that's really not that bad. That's not that bad. They're just cleaning some coding up and getting.
Yeah, I honestly imagine it's a little bit much to run on the Switch, and they're trying to like make it work.
Right.
You know. So
yeah,
I imagine that's what's going on with that.
And I think Fallout's getting.
So this is an interesting one. So Fallout New Vegas, it came out in 2010, which is it's the Fallout before Fallout 4. So there's always been a really big modding community around Bethesda games between Elder Scrolls and their Fallout stuff, and one of the most exciting things that happens in modding communities that have like a lot of people working on them is that you end up having these total conversion mods. And there have been a few really, really notable ones. There were a couple of them for Half-Life 2. There was one for Link to the Past that added an entirely different Legend of Zelda storyline to it, which was really cool, and I can't remember its name, but I will look it up for you later. There have been basically these sprout up from time to time, and they're really legit when they happen. There was one recently for Skyrim called Enderal, which is just an entirely new, like they redid the entirety of the game world, like every model, every asset was changed to something else. It was really cool. It was fully voice acted and everything. It was really nifty. And this is another one that's on that scale. It's a total conversion mod for Fallout New Vegas, and it's called Fallout New California. And I tell you what, I have a trailer.
Yeah.
Let me just roll the trailer.
Okay.
All right.
Can't find my
So that's the situation that's going on there.
Okay. And that's not an official.
No, this is not an official Bethesda product at all. This is a community who
user
got together
generated
and they entirely new game using the Fallout New Vegas engine. And they have done obviously some of the assets and the models and stuff are shared there, but they've made a new game world. They're a whole new campaign story to play to it, and it's just it's one of these things that happens every so often, and it's just really cool. When something like this comes out. So if you're interested and you have Fallout New Vegas, this will be available completely free for whenever they actually announce the release date for it. But apparently it's coming soon. So look
awesome.
forward to that.
I knew nothing about this before you showed that trailer. Like I know we have notes and stuff here. And you linked the trailer in the notes, and I didn't have the chance to watch it. So that was my first view of that trailer, and I was blown away that wasn't an official release. So I'm pretty excited about this one.
If you're interested in stuff like this and you want to see what communities can really put together like that, I highly recommend that you check out a mod for Skyrim called Enderal. It's also completely free. It's a total redo of Skyrim. It's available at this very moment right now. You can go get it. And I'm sure you own Skyrim. I'm pretty sure at this point everyone owns Skyrim. It's just kind of a thing that everyone has. But yeah, New California looks like it'll be really cool, and I will definitely break out New Vegas again and throw that on there when it's ready. That looks like it's gonna be great. So I'm on board for that.
Very cool. Ooh. All right. So
I'll probably stream it.
yeah. And actually, that's a good segue because I think one of the topics we're going to talk about today is Twitch streaming just in general.
Yeah.
And like how to get started at it and kind of figure out
how you
everything.
Put it together and all that stuff. Just what to do with Twitch streaming. And what I wanted to start with was just kind of sharing our experiences streaming on Twitch, because both you and I have streamed on Twitch independently, and we then got together and decided to do this thing that we're doing now. So So tell me about how you first decided you wanted to stream. Like, what was the impetus? When were you like, I want to do this?
So for me, Twitch started about 3 years ago for me, and it actually started really when it came to with you and I getting linked together with the Dungeons and Dragons stuff. When I think you actually told me about Critical Role at the time, and I went to go check it out, and they were probably like only. Yeah, I think you did.
All right.
And it was only a few weeks in. They were only like 5 or 6 weeks, or maybe a little bit more than 5 or 6, but like 8 or 9 weeks in.
Yeah.
And you told me about Twitch and getting on and checking it out, and that kind of started my experience with Twitch. And then from there, obviously Critical Role is still going on. It's one of the more popular shows on Twitch. A bunch of the charity events. There was, the GDQ stuff that we talked about before. There was the Destiny event that they did that they raised over $1 million.
Yeah, DestinyCon.
DestinyCon. I don't think it was a con.
It's called Guardian Con now.
Yeah, it was
called DestinyCon the first year. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was something different before that. It wasn't like a con. It was just like streamers got together for 24 hours, and then they just kept streaming the game. So between all of that, I got real excited about having the opportunity to play games with people online together. Yeah. So I don't play a lot of multiplayer games. I play a lot of more story-driven single player type games, some more of the strategy type of games. So excuse me, my experience as a Twitch streamer and actually being a content creator has kind of been I don't want to say rough, but it's an uphill battle for me to climb, especially with my actual work schedule. I like to stream and share games with people, but since these games are mainly story-driven games, a lot of people just opt to not watch because they want to experience the story for themselves.
Yeah,
which is totally fair. Oh, yeah. But there is a place for people like me and other people out there that stream these story-based games for people who just maybe don't have the access to the game or want to see it be played, and communicate with people in real time while it's going on. and people who are just want to get a sense of what the game is, and will pop in real quick and watch for about 10 minutes, and then when they decide that this is something they want to do, they'll bounce and then maybe pick up the game themselves. So for me personally, it's been an uphill battle. I still really enjoy it. When I do get people to watch and I get to communicate with the people in the chat room, it's a really cool experience. But you seem to have to generate a couple more followers. I know you participate in the speedrun community pretty frequently, and I think you're more and you're kind of shifted to a variety streamer, really.
I always did variety streaming. I did speedrunning for a while because I don't know. I had followed speedrunning for a long time. And just after one of the GDQs, I finally just like got the motivation. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go actually like run something, because I mean I've been watching speedruns back since Speed Demos Archive was the only thing, in like 2004 or whatever. And so yeah, I picked up Indiana Jones. I started running that, but I had done that before, or rather, I had been streaming before that, and I just kind of decided to do that. But yeah, no, I generally am a variety streamer. So I kind of play whatever I feel like playing at the time, and that usually involves me playing something for a week and then moving on to something else. And then if there's nothing big that I want to be playing at the moment, I have a few fallback games that I play, either The Hunter or Subnautica, or it could be like City Builders. And then sometimes I'll just get like nostalgic when I go play a game. But really, streaming for me it's about having fun. If I was in streaming to make tons of money, I would have given up long ago. The people who make tons of money on stream, they're such the exception to the rule, and I'm glad that they're there, right? Like, I'm glad that they found a way to do that, because those people, they're very entertaining. They're also very, very good at their games that they play.
Yes. Can we just take a second and try to list some of the more popular streamers across the board? I can think of a couple.
Yeah, sure.
I can think of a couple off the top of my head.
So, like a couple of the currently really popular ones. Dr. Disrespect. I think he does a lot of like PUBG and Fortnite, and he's I think one of the more like well-known kind of personalities. Like lately, there are a lot more that are like around the globe. A lot of like just kind of people who are steadily very popular, people who've been around for a very long time, like Man vs. Game or like Day9 TV, have been around
guys like
forever.
Witwix have been around for years.
And then you have like the European guys who like they're very much in their own kind of segment, because they don't really stream at the same times that we would be watching, obviously, because they're streaming for a different audience. But one of the guys over there that I watch, I keep him on during my workday on a separate screen just off on the side. Sacriel, watch him all the time.
Sacriel? Okay.
Yeah, he does a lot of like shooter games. He's pretty good with those. So one of the things he recently played through Subnautica, and he super loved it, which I was just really excited about. That somebody else got into it and they were just really enjoying it. So that was really cool. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sure you know.
Along the same lines of like the European guy, the guy I watch that's in Germany, speaks wonderful English, but he does the late night like 2 a.m. Eastern time to like 10:30 a.m., 11 a.m. He's Ponyhoff. Okay. He's pretty awesome. Just back when the Destiny community was huge, you had guys like Professor Broman and King Gathalion who did a lot of Destiny, but he was primarily actually a Borderlands player as well. Okay. Like I said, you got guys like Witwix who averaged 100,000, like tens of thousands of streamers that watch congruently. Yeah. In the Mario Maker community, I'm a big Grand Pooh Bear fan. He gets about 3,000 to 4,000 viewers that watch consistent. Yeah. But we're forgetting the biggest guy in Twitch right now, who plays Fortnite. Ninja. I think he actually just broke some record of like having 2/3 of a million people concurrently watching all at one time, which that's insane. Yeah. That number is mind blowing.
I know.
And if you take 10% of that, You know, 10%. That's still 60,000 people.
Yeah.
That are if you think that
Yeah.
you know, if they're all subscribed using your Twitch Prime subscription, you know, 60,000 times the amount of money you get per subscriber is
like he
ridiculous
streamed with
amount
Drake
of money.
recently. I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
like that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the funny thing, like, I've actually popped into his stream a couple times just to like see what the
you
fuss
gotta check
is
him
about.
out.
Honestly, like, I mean, he just seems like a normal Twitch streamer. Like that's the, like he doesn't have like a theme. Like his production value is nowhere near like Dr. Disrespect, right? He's not like extremely skilled like Shroud is, and he's not like exceptionally good looking. He's just like this normal guy who does streaming, and he's pretty good at Fortnite, and he's like somehow outrageously popular. Like, how did it happen?
Yeah.
Like,
well, he is really good at
to
Fortnite.
him.
Yeah, he is really good at Fortnite, and I think he used to be like a major league Halo player.
Okay.
Which is how he got his start.
Gotcha,
you know, and so he built a community back when Halo was a thing, and then made the switch to Fortnite when Halo kind of went downhill.
Yeah. I wasn't trying to like put down his ability to play the game.
No,
I was making
a
comparison to like Shroud, who kind of
those guys are.
It is known that he's ridiculously good at that kind of thing. Yeah, but in terms of like he's just a Twitch streamer. He just got super popular, which is really cool. But all these people, they are the exception, the exception to the exception to the rule. You know, they're
right.
This will probably not ever happen to any of us. But it's really cool that it can. And you know, I think I'm sure you would agree with me that streaming is just a lot of fun. It's really nice and convenient for me to just schedule a time and sit down and like play a game. But like on purpose to like really do that because here's a little interesting kind of note that it's done for me. I have a rule that I have followed forever, as far back as I can remember. I give every game that I ever try, I give it 45 minutes before I will turn it off and never play it again. Because I feel like 45 minutes is long enough for the game to hook me. And I honestly feel like it's a little bit longer than I should allow. But I really feel like if after 45 minutes I'm not enjoying a game, there should be no expectation of me to continue trying it. But doing things on Twitch has often led me to play a game that I really didn't like very much for a lot longer than I otherwise would have played it. And you can really kind of find the joy in some of those games that you otherwise kind of wouldn't really play very much.
Right.
And which has been really interesting. So I wanted to talk about if you were interested in getting into Twitch, how might you do it? And the reason I brought up a schedule is because I feel like that's the biggest and best way that you can possibly get into starting it is by saying, okay, I'm going to sit down for X amount of time and I'm going to play games on Twitch. And it doesn't have to be, you know, like 8 hours, 4 days a week, you know? I mean, it could be, I'm going to do this for an hour a week and to just do it, to just start it and get into it and see how it feels. Just, you know, dip your feet in. I schedule myself. I actually have the same schedule now that I did when I first started streaming. I stream 3 hours, 3 days a week. And that's a completely reasonable number for me because I play games all the time. And part of the scheduling business is that you want to schedule something that's not inconvenient for you, something that just makes sense for you. Like I would be playing games at this time anyway. I might as well just stream it, you know. So that's how it worked out for me. How do you schedule your time? I know that you work and you jump around a lot. How do you handle that?
Right. I don't schedule my time. Unfortunately, with my career, it never stops, and I might be needed somewhere, you know, across the country, and I might only have my laptop or my Switch with me, or you know, I'm home for about in front of this computer and this setup right here for about half the year. Mm-hmm. And that's where I've realized that setting a schedule is so important because it helps build your community as well. It allows people that watch you to know when they can find you again. Yeah. You know, it's not like I might get somebody who pops in and gives me a follow, but 3 weeks later, I might not see him. I might not see him again for another 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Like just because I'm streaming at a different time than when he had come in and followed. Maybe he can only watch from 8 p.m. till 10 p.m. Pacific time on a Tuesday. And if I'm not streaming at that time, he's not going to watch me. So setting a schedule just allows people that a little bit more access to what content you're putting out there, and it's the most important thing. The games are very, very important. But in my opinion, I think the community that you build is also extremely important.
I think the community is probably more important than the games, because Twitch itself is a community platform. I mean, if you read any of the documentation about what Twitch talks about itself, they describe themselves as a community platform. And really, all of the things that they have are built very much around that. Each channel has a set of viewers who are there, and the reason that chat exists is so that people can talk to each other. Sure, talking to the streamer is something that can happen, but the streamer is not always going to be able to pay attention to every message. We'd love to, but it doesn't always happen. And I love it when people start having a conversation between themselves in my chat, because it tells me that people are enjoying themselves. It tells me that
they're being engaged.
Yeah, they've engaged with the platform that I'm trying to provide, which is some service to those people to express their thoughts and comments and talk to each other and maybe talk about games or make some friends or find some people to play games with, that kind of thing. But streaming, it doesn't just have to be about games. I mean, Twitch has so many new categories now for doing stuff. They got creative, you've got talk shows that we're doing, you've got music as a category. Bob Ross consistently has 2,000 viewers every time he comes on, and they're not bots. They're actually people just watching Bob Ross episodes. Yeah, just or
having it on in the background.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Just having it there.
Yeah, and so I think part of when you get into streaming is remember that doesn't have to be a game. If you're into body painting or if you're into carpentry or whatever it is, you can stream it.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of cooking shows on Twitch. Yeah. There's the Geek and Sundry channel is legitimately a full-on TV channel.
Oh, it's absolutely a TV channel.
Board game and gaming. Mm-hmm. So I mean,
I view them as an internet culture channel, really.
Yeah, for sure. But painting minis, making music. I've seen people just Twitch stream them reading books out loud.
Huh.
So I think, which I thought was awesome.
Cool.
So it's if you can dream it, you can stream it.
Definitely.
Definitely.
So it's really cool. So find something that you're passionate about, something that you enjoy doing, that you could just do all the time, and then just do it online. See what happens. Yeah. You might have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. You never know who you might connect with. It's pretty cool. Some of the ways that the communities can kind of go. Along those lines, with building a community, take the Destiny community. When Destiny first came out, they really rallied around each other and they helped build each other up, and they were able to accomplish great things. Like I said, they raised over $1 million for charity. Yeah. So you as much as your community gives to you, you got to make sure you give it back, and you Absolutely. Need to work. You guys got to work together to kind of elevate everybody around you, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, giving back to a community is so. I think it's so important in terms of building a community, because when people come in and they want to hang out, let's say let's take an example from real life. Let's say you walk into a party. And you don't have anything in common. You don't know anybody who's there, but you got an invite. What's going on, right? So okay, I'm gonna go check out this party because somebody there is playing a game that I really like, or maybe they're listening to the music that I really enjoy. And so you go to this party. If you go to the party and you listen to the music, it's gonna be like, oh, this is a lot of fun. This is really cool. And then when the music stops, okay, I mean, you go home, right? And that's the end of it. But if you go to that party and somebody welcomes you, and you have a good time talking with that person, and then you get to hang out with that person a couple weeks later, they call you like, hey man, do you want to go let's go play some disc golf, or let's go get on a boat and go fishing, or like that community reaches back out to you, or you're engaged there, and you feel like you get something from it, then you're much more likely to come back to there. If you see that, let's say 3 weeks later you're going by that same place and they're playing a different type of music, like they were doing rock and roll last week and now they're doing swing dancing this week, right? You're like, oh well, I'm not like, I don't really know a lot about swing dancing, but I remember some of the people there and they were pretty cool. Maybe they can tell me more about that. You stop in there and you see what happens, and maybe you find out you like it, maybe you don't. But point being, you're trying to build a community and you want to give back to that community as much as you can. And I honestly feel that the more you give to your community, the more that you will get out of Twitch in general. And so to that end, you really want to do things that promote community growth and engagement. And aside from just like throwing around marketing terms, like realistic stuff you can do is like open up a Discord channel, put chat logs in there, put voice comms in there for your community to do things with. Have them play games together. Put up I have in my Discord a facial hair channel where you can just post pictures of any facial hair, as ridiculous as possible. You want to do like, if there are certain games that you play a lot, or if there are certain types of art that you do a lot, maybe a link to discussion about this type of thing, or a channel to look for other people to play games with, or anything like that. With Discord, it's a magnificent tool.
Yeah, you can just give them a platform for them to talk about whatever they want to talk about or that they're feeling that day. Like you want to, and there's something really rewarding about giving stuff back to your community as well. I mean, it doesn't always have to be a big thing. It doesn't even have to have monetary value. Occasionally, streamers will get like game codes from developers to say, "Hey, play this game," and they'll give out like 10 codes. Being able to hand out a code to somebody is, and giving the opportunity to share that experience of playing the same game that you're playing is kind of cool. Just helping them promote their stuff. If they want to bring up their, what they're doing, giving a just rating their channel, like when you're done streaming, share your community with their community, and then they'll share their community with your community.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful thing. There's so much you can do on this platform, and there's so many people that are out there that watch it, that in my opinion, it's the future. It's the future of how we're going to consume media. I'm very surprised that there aren't like Game of Thrones streams that are like where like HBO makes a Twitch channel and shows the episode on Twitch live while people can just chat. Like I'm surprised that hasn't been a thing yet. But maybe we'll see that happen in the next couple of years.
Sure. I think there are monetary and legal issues that they need to work around to figure it out. But yeah, absolutely, I totally understand where you're coming from with that. And so, just in terms of, okay, so let's say you decide, all right, I want to stream. I want to make this happen. How? How do I put myself on the internet, right? Like, clearly you got to have like webcams, you got to have green screens, you got to have like super high quality HD, 4K, 144 hertz streams. That's not true. You don't need that.
You don't need any of that.
You don't need any of that. There are only two things you really need to have in order to put a stream on. You need to be able to have your voice heard, and you need to be able to have your game seen or your content seen. And that's really it. And then anything beyond that point is just icing upon the cake.
It's bonus.
Yeah. Like the most important thing you can have is audio. If people can't hear you or your game, or whatever you're doing, like they're not gonna be there. Listening to a silence, it's just not interesting. It's not entertaining. So you got to have audio that's there. And then after that, once you have your audio locked down pretty well, then you can start focusing on increasing your quality stuff. Higher resolution maybe, or maybe more FPS or something like that. And I'd say there's probably an order that you want to go and increase things in terms of like how to increase the quality in your stream. But I think that audio is your most important thing, and then after that, higher quality audio is your next most important thing. And then after you get
no,
your nice...
No, we're not even in video yet.
Yeah,
audio and then
audio is
quality.
super important. You need this before you go anywhere else.
Yeah.
I'm not in audio and I know this. He's all about audio down here. Like, I mean, he's an AV production. You know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing about getting into Twitch or getting into streaming is that it's honestly it's free. Pretty much it's free. You know, like most computers have some kind of built-in microphone these days. Even if you have a laptop, the software that you want to use, like OBS, or if you have an Elgato, streaming system, all of the software is free. Streamlabs makes a version of OBS now, also free. So just getting your games onto stream and onto screen, $0 to get in.
Yeah.
So don't let that stop you from getting into it.
Absolutely. You need to spend no pennies on it.
But then you want to get into the audio hardware type of stuff.
Get a nice microphone, get yourself a pop filter. You do what you can to make yourself sound crisp.
Right. And that takes a little practice and a little bit of time to dial it in, excuse me. And there's some great software out there to help you kind of route everything. There's Voicemeeter, there's Virtual Audio Cable. For a while, I was using Adobe Audition to help route things, which that's not free, but and I think Voicemeter's free, but like you can pay $5. You can donate $5.
Voicemeter Banana is, I believe, free. I think it's you don't have to pay a penny for it, and it's what I'm using literally right now to stream this. So yeah, it's good stuff. Anyway, once you get past audio.
Once you get past audio, that's when you want to get into
like video stuff. And we could talk about encoding, and we could talk about bit rates and all that, but there are guides for all that online, and I think we really just want to get into the order of priority. And this is just my opinion. I'd be interested to hear yours as well, Ian. I think it needs to go increase your frame rate first, and then increase your resolution. And then increase your frame rate, and then increase your resolution. I think it needs to follow those steps. Because even if you're streaming in 240p, if you sound good and you have a good frame rate, you're not stuttering and glitching everywhere, I'll hang out and watch those streams. I got no problem with that. You get up into 720p, and that's fine too. I mean, it's whatever it is. I personally stream in 720p at 60 fps, and that's because can't reasonably go above that. And that's totally fine. I've never had anyone come into my stream and say, I can't believe you're not at 1080, right? Like, that's never happened. Not one time.
No. I mean, honestly, 720 is perfect. Even a 480p stream with a good frame rate is completely fine, because it's not even so much about the hardware to how much processing power you need to get that stream up. You got to remember, in order for people to watch, they've got to download that stream as well. Mm-hmm. So sometimes the lower resolutions are more accessible to a lot more people. So, because I live in a city that broadband internet is really easy to get my hands on. But if you make your way into, middle America, there's places where I've gone through Ohio where, like, if I'm lucky, I can get 1 megabyte down.
Yeah.
And that's just because of, what's available in the area and how it all works. And so those guys can't really necessarily stream a 1080p content, they'll go on YouTube and then they'll download or they'll let the video load for a while, and then they'll watch the whole thing. They won't watch it and let it load in the background. So don't stress the highest resolution. Just make sure you have a nice solid bit rate and a good frame rate, and you're good to go. Video wise.
Every time. If
you want to get fancy, get yourself a really nice webcam, get a green screen, do some color chroma keying, and make yourself kind of part of the background. But for most part, when designing your layouts and stuff, like, don't stress it. You could put a box, just put your camera right on top of everything, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1,000,000% on that. And even if you do get into like green screen stuff, I mean, I'm living evidence over here. You do not need to have anything fancy going on. I mean, I've got a curtain rod with a large green sheet that I bought from Joanne Fabrics. It's a bed sheet, and I just just threw it over. I taped it together at the sides, and that's it. Yep. I don't know if you can see over here how it's like just kind of bunched up over here because it's taped together. It's literally tape. Like, does not need to be a super expensive setup at all to get improvements in your stream. You probably have something lying around your house you could make do.
And it doesn't even have to be green.
No,
it could be blue. It could be red.
You could set whatever color you want.
Yeah, just a solid color, preferably not a skin tone, but is what it is.
Oh man.
Yeah,
well, it's been good.
So
a lot of stuff that goes into that. But overall, I'd say if you're any bit interested in getting into streaming, absolutely check it out. Give it a go. See if you like it or not. Do it for an hour a week. See if you like it.
Absolutely.
If not, no worries. Not for everybody.
But at least at that point, you said you could give it a go.
Yeah.
But sure. I think that's pretty much gonna wrap us up here for this week's edition of the Two Dudes One Up Gaming Podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
Give us a like on Instagram and Twitter at Two Dudes One Up. Connect to the Discord. Come chat with us in the Discord.
Yeah, Discord and Twitter are down below.
Yep. Let us know how we're doing. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Let us know what you don't want us to talk about. So follow Chris here on Twitch at Average Goatee.
Mm-hmm.
Follow me
Ian down there is Stunt Mustard.
Yeah. And at that point, I think we're gonna wish you guys a good week and happy gaming, everybody.
Yeah. Catch you guys later.